also important, so you may want to brush up on your customer service skills if necessary. It's also important that you have some experience working with DevOps tools such as Jenkins or Ansible Tower so that you can automate processes efficiently. Having an understanding of coding languages such as Python or Ruby is beneficial when building scripts for automation tasks or designing custom tools for provisioning resources. Additionally, being knowledgeable about databases such as MongoDB or Cassandra will help you design resilient applications that are optimally stored within the cloud environment. When preparing for an interview, it's a good idea to research the company beforehand so that you can have meaningful conversations about their product or services during your interview instead of relying solely on general questions related to cloud architecture practices and technologies. Additionally, it's helpful to have some insight into their specific environment so that you can address any challenges they may have mentioned when they described their role during their job post or during your initial phone screen call with them prior to interviewing with them in person if possible. Finally, when it comes time for your interview, make sure that you arrive prepared with any materials needed, resume copies, etc. Neatly organized in one folder along with questions that you may want answered during the meeting, including clarifications about certain aspects of their infrastructure environment if necessary. As long as you do your due diligence ahead of time and come into each interview prepared, there shouldn't be any surprises once it's time for questions from either side. This way both parties can benefit from each other's knowledge throughout the conversation. Cloud architect interview question: are you looking for a job as a cloud architect? Then you've come to the right place. Cloud architecture is an important part of any tech-savvy organization, and it can open up many opportunities for career growth. To help you get your foot in the door, we've compiled a list of the most common cloud architect interview questions. 1. What experience do you have with cloud computing? As a cloud architect, you need to be intimately familiar with cloud computing technologies and architectures in order to be successful. Explain your experience with specific cloud platforms, such as AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud Platform. Discuss any certifications or qualifications that you have, as well as any hands-on experience that you have gained while working in a cloud-based environment. 2. How would you design a secure, reliable, and scalable cloud infrastructure? Security is paramount in the world of cloud computing as data needs to remain safe and secure at all times. Reliability is also important so that customers and end users can rely on the service provided by your infrastructure. Scalability is another key element to consider when designing a cloud infrastructure, as systems need to be able to adapt quickly to changing conditions and demands from users. Explain how you would approach designing such an infrastructure and discuss any tools or techniques that you would use in order to achieve this goal. 3. What challenges have you faced when deploying applications on the cloud? This question will enable potential employers to understand your attitude towards problem solving when working with clouds. Think about some of the issues that may arise when deploying applications on clouds, such as scalability issues or security concerns, and explain how you overcame them or what steps you took in order to mitigate them effectively. This will show recruiters that you have a practical approach towards problem solving instead of relying solely on general knowledge concerning clouds, which may not always be applicable in certain scenarios. For how do cost considerations factor into designing a reliable cloud solution? Cost is always something which needs to be taken into account when designing anything, including a reliable cloud solution. Explain how cost considerations factor into your designs by discussing ways in which costs can be minimized through careful optimization of resources while still achieving reliability objectives such as uptime or scalability requirements set by stakeholders within an organization. 5. What tools do you use for monitoring performance on the cloud? Monitoring performance on the cloud is essential for ensuring optimal user experience across all applications deployed within your infrastructure. It is also important for troubleshooting issues should something go wrong within an application. It is therefore essential for prospective employers that candidates are familiar with monitoring tools such as CloudWatch or similar tools. Explain what monitoring tools and processes are used by yourself when it comes to ensuring optimal performance within your infrastructure. 6. What types of best practices do you follow while developing software solutions on the cloud? Best practices form an essential part of software development, especially when it comes to developing applications for use on public clouds, as well as detailing general best practices relating software development, such as writing good code and documenting changes thoroughly. Explain specific best practices which relate specifically to developing software solutions for use on public clouds, such as being aware of security requirements imposed by vendors, or using appropriate access control mechanisms for data stored off-site. Cloud architect. A cloud architect is responsible for overseeing the cloud-based infrastructure and operations of an organization. The role requires a deep understanding of cloud computing, software development, and systems architecture. As such, cloud architects must possess a variety of technical skills to ensure the deployment of applications and services are successful and secure. First and foremost, a cloud architect must possess an extensive knowledge of cloud computing technologies. This includes an in-depth understanding of infrastructure as a service, IaaS, platform as a service, PaaS, software as a service, SaaS, and network as a service, NAS. Additionally, they must have expertise in areas such as virtualization, private/public/hybrid cloud architectures, storage solutions, distributed computing techniques, identity management solutions, security frameworks, and usability design principles. Having comprehensive knowledge of software development is also imperative for cloud architects. This includes familiarity with popular programming languages such as Java, C++, Python, or Ruby, frameworks such as .NET or AngularJS, concepts like object-oriented programming, OOP, development tools like Git or Jenkins, and DevOps practices like continuous integration/continuous delivery pipelines and automated testing processes. Lastly, knowledge of scripting languages such as Bash or PowerShell is also beneficial for automating routine tasks related to application deployment. Lastly, experience with systems architecture is essential for cloud architects. Here they need to understand enterprise architecture concepts like service-oriented architecture, SOA, and microservices, server architectures including load balancing technologies, networking protocols such as HTTP/HTTPS, client-server communication technologies like REST APIs, data formats used to store application state information such as XML or JSON, containerization platforms like Docker or Kubernetes, monitoring tools used to track system performance metrics, debugging tools involved in troubleshooting production issues, automation technologies employed when managing large-scale deployments. To summarize, the primary skills required by a cloud architect include expertise in cloud computing technologies and terminology, an in-depth understanding of software development principles and best practices, thorough knowledge of systems architecture concepts, familiarity with scripting languages for automation purposes, experience working with popular programming languages for creating applications according to customer requirements. With all these skills combined together, it allows for efficient deployment of secure applications that can scale according to business needs. Cloud architectures are essential components of an organization's technology infrastructure, playing a critical role in maintaining a secure, reliable, and cost-efficient cloud environment. As such, cloud architects are in high demand to design, implement, and maintain complex cloud systems. The salary for a cloud architect depends on factors such as experience, qualifications, and the nature of the organization. Entry-level cloud architect: for those with little or no experience in the field of cloud architecture, starting salaries can range from $60,000 to $80,000 per year. At this entry-level position, cloud architects will likely be responsible for designing basic cloud infrastructure architectures and assisting with deployment and monitoring of deployed services. Mid-level cloud architect: with 2 to 4 years of experience in the field of cloud architecture, mid-level professionals may earn an annual salary ranging from $100,000 to $150,000. At this level, individuals are expected to possess a deep understanding of multiple cloud technologies and platforms. They must be able to design complex architectures that meet demanding business requirements while remaining cost-effective and secure. Senior-level cloud architect: those who possess 5+ years of experience in the field can expect to make between $150,000 and $200,000 annually. Senior-level architects are expected to have extensive experience with multiple major public and private clouds, as well as having design expertise that exceeds industry best practices. They must also have a great deal of knowledge regarding security principles related to public clouds, as well as being able to develop strategies for mitigating risk within their respective organizations. Lead Cloud Architect. The lead cloud architect is usually the most experienced architect at an organization and will typically earn over $200,000 annually. These individuals are expected to provide direction for the entire team, ensuring that all projects remain within budget while minimizing risk associated with their projects. They will also be responsible for developing long-term strategies for implementing multiple public clouds within their respective organizations while managing relationships with each vendor's engineers. In conclusion, salaries for cloud architects vary depending on experience level and qualifications, but can range from entry-level salaries of around $60,000 up to lead-level salaries exceeding $200,000 annually. In addition to traditional compensation packages, many employers also offer additional benefits such as healthcare coverage or stock options, which can significantly increase the overall value of an offer.